I didn't really know how long it was going to take me to go through 44 slides. I got to slide 27 and I was half an hour in. So I guess I'm doing about a minute per slide. So I'm going to continue with what was going to be a single video. Now it's going to be two, going through Brawl Tribal, really a review of Magic 2019, but from the perspective in these particular first videos of creating Brawl Tribal decks. Again, I'm going to be playing with my Pillar of Origins and Vanquisher's Banner. I'm going to be declaring what tribe I want to play in that game, and getting these two artifacts to help my critters. And they're all going to be for a specific tribe. I already discussed these tribal enablers in the other video, the first one of this series that will be in a playlist. So this is the second video. And you can also use Unclaimed Territory. You're only going to use one in a Brawl deck, but I plan to use it on every one of these decks. Metallic Mimic is cycling out, and I don't have it online. And I have put in Radiant Destiny in whichever decks had white. I've gone through this table in detail before, but every now and then I'll reference it. And if you haven't seen the first video, I will just give a very brief overview of this table. But if you've seen the first video, you know that I spent a ton of time on it. And so the tribes that are on the right, Avatar, Druid, Elf, and so on, are the ones that I know for a fact are gonna lose a lot of members to when Kaladesh and Amonkhet cycle out. And the fall column is what's going to be left behind. So for example, there's going to be 16 elves that are still in standard from the current sets that did not rotate when Guilds of Ravnica hits. So whatever else Guilds of Ravnica brings are going to be added to those 16. Right now, rightmost column, there are a total of 37 elves, I believe. I may have miscounted the M19 ones. The other ones I was able to count exactly from Gatherer. Then on the happy side of the table is the left-hand side. These are tribes that no matter what happens with Ravnica are going to have a ton of critters for you to build either Brawl or Commander decks. Best example is Dinosaurs. There are 68 Dinosaurs that came out in Ixalan block, and then there are 3 in M19, so it's a total of 71. There's 71 now. There's going to be 71 in the fall. Most likely, there are not going to be any Dinosaurs in the 3 sets of Ravnica, but still, for another year, if you want to build a Dinosaur deck, you have 68 Dinosaurs to pick from. Even if your deck is casual and all those Dinosaurs have been power creeped, or they're not really a good deck compared to any of the other tribes that come out with better support out of Ravnica, or if tribal decks are not good compared to the competitive decks, that's fine. As a casual player, which is who I am, I'm still going to have my 68 Dinosaurs, and I'm going to play them. So we were talking about humans in the last installment of the video of this core set M19 look through. Of course, there are a ton of humans, but humans as a deck, I'm not sure is something that I'm going to try besides just a trial deck just to play with. Because I'll give you the example of Aerial Engineer. I don't really care that it's a human. I care that it's an artificer. And I care that if you control an artifact, it's a 4/4/4. It's fine. It's an uncommon. It doesn't do anything thrilling, but that's cute. If you put him in a white-blue artifact deck, he's going to be a double bear, I guess. And then Draconic Disciple, for example, is a good example of why we shouldn't really care that this dude is a human shaman. Because, well, number one, he's a 3/2 that when you tap it, you can add mana of any color. That's fantastic. Okay, and then for a gigantic amount of mana for 7, you can tap it, you can sack it, and you can create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. That's fantastic. And there's a whole dragon deck in Magic 2019, all centered about the Sarkhan red Planeswalker. It's a 3-drop. I'm not sure if it's going to come out being T-Balt number 2. We shall see. I'm getting ahead of myself for sure. Of course, there are tons of humans, but in my opinion, it doesn't really matter that they are, because like I know Valduke, I've played him in Brawl, and I don't really care that he's a human. I care that he beats face pretty hard. Again, many human commanders right now in Big Standard, Big Summer Standard. Of course, Joda is a human, but we're way more interested in Joda being a wizard. And of course, being a 5-color commander, that's fantastic. You can put Yoda in pretty much anything that you want to do in commander. So I think that's very interesting. He's a flyer, but we're talking about Magic 2019, so I'm going to keep going. I have built a Joda deck with best of humans. It's a 5-color deck. I'm just building it for fun. I think it's going to be clunky as could be. It's a Brawl deck. We shall see. Then Dinosaurs, very interestingly, and I am featuring an M19 card in this discussion. We already have 2 legendary dinosaurs, one from Ixalan to the right, Gishath, and Zakama from Rivals. Gishath is already getting some commander play. I've seen some numbers for him or it in EDH Rec. Now, Palladia Moors, M19 is coming out with the 5 retooled, reworked Elder Dragons from Legends, one of the earliest Magic sets. So Palladia Moors is a Naya. It's on the Naya colors. It's on the same colors as the current dinosaur decks that are being built for Commander that are Naya, that use as many of the better dinosaurs in Rivals of Ixalan block. And I have featured in my channel, I have built a Gishath deck with a bunch of Ixalan cards. The deck sort of built itself. You just pick a bunch of really good dinosaurs, all the better ones, and you've got a deck. Now, the question that I think is going to be open is Palladia Moors a good enough commander so that you don't care that it's a dinosaur and you put them on your dinosaur deck? I don't really know, either for Brawl or Commander. I have no idea, but it's very interesting. Gishath is Trample, Vigilance, Haste. Palladia Moors is Flying, Vigilance, Trample. The Flying is a big deal. Gishath has 1 more power, but Palladia has a 6-drop versus Gishath, which is an 8-drop. Anyways, I do have a video that I'm planning to make only on the Elder Dragons and all the rares and mythics that are kind of cool, and that's going to come after these tribal videos. Okay. There are 3 dinosaurs in Magic 2019. Gigantosaurus, I think, is very interesting. I am a huge fan of Devotion to Green. I love Devotion to Green, and I want to play this in the Devotion to Green deck. So my question really is, and it's pure speculation, is Devotion going to come out in one of the Ravnica block sets, maybe the 3rd one that Wizards has already hinted is going to be a twist on Ravnica? That would be the only reason, I think, for this card. We're not getting Return to Theros while M19 is in Standard. So I'm going to say there has to be something with Devotion in the 3rd Ravnica set, or maybe even in the first 2, for this card to be relevant in some way. Otherwise, you're just going to be building a mono green dinosaur deck, and I'm not sure that you're going to get a lot of mileage out of it. That's my opinion. So I'm puzzled by Gigantosaurus, very puzzled by it. Colossal Dreadmaw is your typical limited critter, 6/6/6 trample. Runic Armasaur, 3-drop. Whenever an opponent activates an ability of a creature or a land that isn't a mana ability, you may draw a card. I like that. That's pretty cool. That I think is strong. But back to Gigantosaurus, man, am I puzzled about that critter. Really puzzled. I love it. I mean, I love Devotion to Green. We have Elder Dinosaurs in Rivals of Ixalan in all 5 colors, even though dinosaurs are Naya dinosaurs, they're white, red, green. We do have a blue one and we do have a black one. They're all legendaries. It's very interesting. I don't have Gauta online, but I do have Satalpa, and I have built a Satalpa Primal Dawn deck. It's mono white. I'm going to check it out. I don't know. I mean, it's an 8-drop 4/8. It's not going to get cast in a lot of games. So I don't really know. I don't really know what's going on with the green dinosaurs. That's what I was getting at. Okay. Then there's a few enablers that are coming in for the dragons, but they're also enablers for the dinosaurs because they're on red. So Sarkhan's Unsealing is a 4-drop enchantment. Whenever you cast a creature with spell with power 4, 5, or 6, this thing deals 4 damage to any target. Any target. That's very good. Whenever you cast a spell with power 7 or greater, it deals 4 damage to each opponent and each creature and planeswalker they control. Wow, that is really, really good. And even though it's clearly aimed at the dragon deck that Magic 2019 has in it, I want to use this for my dinosaurs. Thud is kind of like a fling. It's a 1-drop sorcery. Fling is an instant, I believe. And so you sack a creature, and then you deal damage equal to its power to any target. I think this is a fantastic card. I love it. Totally love it. Colossal Majesty is also, it's got me very interested and excited. It's a 3-drop enchantment, and if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you get to draw a card off of this thing, and it's only you. That is wonderful. And it's an uncommon. You're going to pull this thing. Okay, so then let's keep going with the enablers for big critters. Goreclaw is, of course, a great enabler for big critters. Creature spells you cast with power 4 or greater cost 2 less to cast. And I think in another video I did the math of how many big critters there are in Standard per color. I don't have that in this particular video because here I'm just going through the tribes. But I'll hit on that eventually. And then whenever this thing attacks, each creature you control with power 4 or greater gets +1/+1 and gains trample. I mean, I think Goreclaw should be called Goreclaw, add insult to injury. Anyways, Vivian Reed, brand new planeswalker, 5-drop, comes in with 5, you plus it 1, it's going to be a 6 loyalty planeswalker. That's pretty good. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or land and put it into your hand, and then you put them at the bottom of your library, the other cards. So it doesn't feed your graveyard, and I've been looking for those kind of cards. I want to build a Ramonap deck. This one's not going to help me with that because it's going to give me the card I want in my hand, and then the other one's going to be at the bottom of the library. -3 for this card is destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. So it's kind of like a naturalize and plummet combined. That is fantastic. Fantastic versatility on a single card. So I love this card already. Then the emblem, creatures you control get +2/+2 and have vigilance, trample, and indestructible. That's pretty good too. I'm greedy. I would have liked it to have been more than +2/+2, but I'll take it. And then Vivian's Invocation is a 7-drop sorcery, and you can look at the top 7 cards of your library, and then also the other ones you put at the bottom of your library. Again, does not help you with weeding out things, dropping things into your graveyard you can play later, but it still gives you something. Now it's a 7-drop. It's got to be a commander or a card. I mean, I don't see how you could ever play this in Standard. If you get to play something at 7-drop in Standard, you should have played something else that you would have won the game with. That's my opinion. When a creature is put onto the battlefield this way, it deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. That's fantastic. I mean, this is clearly a fantastic card, but I don't really see it being a constructed card. I see it being a commander card, just because 7-drop. That's enough said. So I have made a Gashath Brawl deck. I'm going to check it out. Then let's get onto the pirates. The pirates, like the dinosaurs, kind of build themselves with so many of them. In the fall, even after Kaladesh and Amonkhet cycle out, there ain't no pirates there. You're still going to have 65 pirates. You're going to be in pretty good shape. You're on Grixis. I'm mentioning Nicol Bolas only because Nicol Bolas is on Grixis. And I'm only going to do a passing discussion of Nicol Bolas because, again, I'm going to have a video that only goes into the Elder Dragons. This thing, I mean, if you flip it into a Planeswalker, I think you have to win the game. I mean, if you don't win the game after being able to flip Nicol Bolas, you have to really examine what you're doing. I mean, of course, it's going to take you a mountain of mana to get there. Number one, you got to cast this dude for 4, and then you got to pump it with 8 to flip it. So that's a total of 12 mana to get to flip it. Now, once you flip it, it's pretty sweet. I mean, it's a 4 ability Planeswalker that's just going to cause a lot of pain. Like all the Nicol Bolas Planeswalkers, if you get to drop them, you usually win the game. And I think that's going to be the case with this dude. But boy, it's going to take you a lot of mana to get there. There's only one pirate in all of M19, which is very interesting. What is even more interesting about this pirate is that it's a spirit, and there are 3 spirits in the set. I wonder if there is a good set of spirits coming in Ravnica. I would not be surprised if that's the case. And then this guy, girl actually, you wouldn't care that she's a pirate. You would care that she's a spirit. And she cannot be blocked except by spirits. And then, but the clause of 3 blue is pretty nice. Another target creature you control cannot be blocked this turn except by spirits. That's interesting. Okay. Now, as any other spirit, it's a lot like some of the elementals. When this becomes a target of a spell, you sack it. I've built a Beckett Brass Brawl deck that I'm going to try out with my Pirates online. We'll see how it does. Then the Merfolk, which, by the way, I was very disappointed with it when I built Merfolk for Ixalan. I thought they were kind of lame. Maybe I didn't pull the good ones. I don't know. We're going to have 44 Merfolk from Ixalan, and there's 2 in M19. These 2, even after Kaladesh and Amonkhet rotate, so they're going to be around with us for a while. I think Mistcaller is more a wizard than a Merfolk to me. I don't know. That's how I'm seeing it right now. When you sack it until end of turn, if a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exile it instead. And so this is really, you're going to be sitting there, and one of your opponents or your opponent, whether if you're playing single 1 versus 1 or even multiplayer, somebody's going to try to reanimate something crazy, and you're going to sack this thing and exile it. That's it. So their Grizzlebrand is gone. That's pretty good, but you're going to have to be sitting there for that to happen. I don't know. Then the Salvager is just limited fodder, has an ETB, return instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. That's okay. It's still a 5/2/2 that does nothing. It doesn't have flying, doesn't have no evasion. Okay, so I am going to build, I already have a build, I'm going to play it out, a Merfolk build with my favorite artifacts that I've mentioned at the beginning of this video for Brawl. These are all Brawl decks. As you can see, it's got 25 creatures, 10 non-creatures, and 24 lands. 59 plus the commander is 60. Vampires. Vampires are going to be in pretty good shape in the fall because they got a bunch of them. They got a bunch of vampires, white and black, out of Ixalan. We're getting Child of Night, wonderful card. So many memories of playing it. So many core sets. It's got lifelink. It's a great card. Truly iconic, in my opinion. Then Epicure of Blood is a 5/4/4, and whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. That's pretty good for a common, in my opinion. Then the Sky March is a 3/2/2 flyer, and when it enters the battlefield, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life, and it's a common. Both of these guys are good, in my opinion. Then there's more vampires. There's the Neonate, it's a 1-drop, 0/3, and for 2 you tap it and each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. It's still a 0/3. I don't know, but you still tap it and you hit people, so that's good, I guess. Then the Sovereign is a 5/3/4 flyer, and when it enters the battlefield, target opponent loses 3 life and you gain 3 life. That is fantastic, especially 1 versus 1. It's still a 5-drop and it's only a 3/4. You're not going to be attacking with it, really. I would flicker this thing and just hit you for 6 and gain 6 life and not even care if it attacks. Then the Bloodlord is a 5/2/4 flyer. That's pretty weak. But at the beginning of each end step, if you gain life, you create a 1/1 black bat creature token with flying. I still think it's pretty weak. I mean, it comes in as a 5. Yeah, sure, it'll give you those tokens, but by 5, when you're casting 5 mana flyers, they got to be doing something better than just pumping out 1/1 tokens. I'm not sure about this card, in my case, as like being interested in playing it. And then here's my buddy Alenda online in a Brawl vampire deck. I'm going to play it out while I wait for M19. Although I think the vampires that M19 is bringing are not really going to make this deck way better than it is right now. These are really just fun vampires for M19 Limited, in my opinion. Then that's it. I think we're done with this particular video, and just setting it up. The 1 of 2 Brawl Tribal ended up being 2 videos because I'm realizing I'm doing about a minute per slide. Then the second Brawl Tribal video is probably going to get split in 2. So it's probably going to be a total of 4 videos on Brawl Tribal. And then I've got an Elder Dragons video, build-arounds. That's where I take care of all the uncommons and anything rare and mythic rare that I didn't pick up in the Elder Dragons video. And then the toolbox number 5 is really your limited jank. And I'm done with this video. I hope you're enjoying these. Thank you.